What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and I'm gonna be putting some stuff to bed right here. There are a few things I'm gonna go over in this video, and I'm I've been getting hit with a lot of questions from a lot of people, friends, family, a lot of people freaking out about Cardano's price. Now, for a lot of us who've been accumulating Cardano since 2017, which is when I first started. My first video on Cardano was in December of 2017. It was 33 cents that day. And I basically continued to accumulate all the way up to $1.33, all the way down to 2 cents. And once it hit 2 cents, I really started to educate people on the blockchain, on Cardano specifically. And I know that a lot of people, based off of my Twitter and my YouTube comments and all of that, there are a lot of people who accumulated at 2 cents and continue to do so through the bear market. Most of them are now millionaires, okay? And there are a lot of people who, even an old neighbor recently messaged me and he's like, "Hey man, should I be freaking out? I've watched my portfolio drop hundreds of thousands of dollars. What do I do?" And I'm like, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm holding. I'm not worried. Why am I not worried? We're going to talk about that in this video because there's something to be said. Now, the number one thing that I want to get off my chest here is, I've watched some of Charles Hoskinson's recent AMA videos, and I sent him a message with my thoughts on those AMAs. And I want to say that I understand what it's like to be super frustrated at a community that simply doesn't seem to appreciate what you do, what you've built, what you're working on, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're accomplishing for that matter. And it's not necessarily the Cardano community itself that's posing the issues. It's the communities of other projects who flat out don't seem to understand or appreciate the idea that there is room for everything out there, that there are room for other blockchains in the space, and that you don't have to run around trying to FUD the bags of others to improve the value of your own. In the corporate America or anywhere in the world, when you see somebody who's constantly trying to hold people down or push people down in efforts to rise themselves up, that's not how things work. All it does is ultimately lower the bar for you to be a little more important or you to feel a little bit better about yourself. I am from the school of I always try to raise up those around me because rising tides raises all ships. And there are a lot of people out there that don't seem to understand that mentality. And above even that, apparently there's a lot of coordinated FUD out there about Cardano from venture capitalist groups and coordinated attacks using Twitter and other mediums. And I've seen a lot of it myself, and it's all bullshit. Because I've seen countless Twitter feeds and new accounts on Twitter specifically put in place just to try and FUD Cardano. And what else do we remember happening at a time in the early days of Ethereum, when the Bitcoin maximalists were trying to shut Ethereum down because they feared the value of this new blockchain that introduced smart contracts to an ecosystem that did not yet have them? At that time, Bitcoin maximalists were losing their mind with coordinated attacks against Ethereum, constant FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt being projected from the mouths of everybody who held Bitcoin and didn't want to watch its value drop because of a competing blockchain. What did we learn from that? That it doesn't matter, that that's not the point. That's not what this is all about. This is about the growth of an ecosystem to help people turn a little bit into a lot in the early stages of a new era of technological advancement. That's what this is about. These community wars, these, I don't even know what you want to call them. It's all garbage. Don't buy into it. Cardano, in my opinion, is one of the most groundbreaking blockchains out there. It's the only blockchain out there that I know of. Correct me if I'm wrong, community, in my comments below. But it's the only blockchain out there with peer-reviewed studies on just about everything it's done since inception. It's also completed every milestone that it's laid out for itself since inception. It's gone from being a quote unquote ghost chain to, now it doesn't have dApps. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have that. The goalpost keeps getting pushed forward. And what has happened each and every time? Cardano kicks it in the teeth because it's not worried about how many tokens are in circulation, because the staking mechanisms of the blockchain enable it to basically allow people to accumulate more passively over time and lock those coins up so that they're not freely available on exchanges. And when Cardano has met its overall goal on a global scale, the number of tokens just aren't going to matter as much. It's not about the number of tokens. Everybody wants to buy something for pennies in limited supply and watch it go to the moon to make everyone wealthy overnight. Cardano was not built as a speculative cash grab token. That's one of the reasons why it's so fundamentally sound. It's the overall mission, the goals of the blockchain that make it so wildly successful and popular among some of the most intelligent cryptocurrency investors and holders in the space. It's the kids that are running around on the internet, reading all of this FUD and perpetuating it in echo chambers that honestly isn't going to have much effect in the overall scheme of things, because you can't keep a good man down. And that's really what it boils down to. And I'm going to show you a lot of this right now. Now, the first thing that we're going to take a look at is the stock to flow model, so that those of you that don't seem to understand, and all you really understand is what you've read today on Twitter, the stock to flow model still has us basically right on par with where we're heading, okay? And if you look at the history in this stock to flow model, you're going to see significant blow off tops in the Bitcoin price action as we move further into the bull market. We're waiting for that. It hasn't happened yet. It's coming. And when it does come, what's likely going to happen is Bitcoin's price is going to peak out first, and then it's going to spill into Ethereum. Ethereum's going to be close behind it now. And then after it hits Ethereum, it's going to, all the profit from that is going to drop into the altcoin market. At that point, Cardano is probably going to have its blow off top as well. But that's not even the big thing. That's not even what I'm worried about. Or I'm not worried about anything, but you get my point. Now, let's look at Cardano's price. You know what? Before I get into this, I want to point you guys to this gentleman. This is best case scenario. Bull cycle can pump until Q4 of 22 with Bitcoin reaching $278,000. This is Elio Trades Crypto. I watched this video and I thought, hell of a job well done. Watch it yourself. I actually saved it into my my playlist that directs people to other videos that aren't necessarily crypto related, or they're not on my channel, but to other people's channels that I think are worthwhile. I'm pretty sure I've got some videos from Benjamin Cowan in there and others. Keep in mind, I feel like I discovered Benjamin Cowan, for those of you that don't know. Maybe he'll clue you in on some of that. But anyway, I was a fan of his work when he had, I don't know, 15,000 subscribers, if he even had that many at the time. Gave him some pointers and he's blown up. And he hasn't blown up because of my pointers. He's blown up because, he's just sound. He knows his stuff. He's called some similar plays to this gentleman. Now, aside from this guy's haircut, his knowledge is phenomenal, and I highly encourage you to check this out, because what a lot of people were expecting to be a September bull market peak is now, honestly, based off of logarithmic charting and the extensions of each market, we could very well be looking at a June of 22 peak, okay? And if that plays out, this is basically what I've been charting. Now, I have this is Bitcoin, all right? Now, I've charted this out on my own. You're going to notice these two lines here. This is the pi cycle top indicator, which you can find right here. It's the same thing. I just have it built into my charts on Bitcoin so that I kind of see it passively every day without having to go to this other page. You're going to see here we're coming down. I don't know if we're going to hit this or not, but we're looking at the next line of support is basically 52.6, okay, in Bitcoin's price. We could hit this, but honestly, I'm not quite sure. I guess it depends on Asia, because I know that Asia really kind of punked the market this morning. I woke up at 545 and I saw Ethereum's price. I saw Cardano's price dip again from, $1.62, $1.63. At one point, I think it dipped down even lower, like $1.52. And I'm like, man, this is getting frustrating. But then I started remembering everything that I had already seen just yesterday. because I started researching a lot of this stuff because I'm finally settled in Florida, and it's time for me to get back to work, get back to doing what I do, research and analysis. And a part of that is for my own sanity, to be quite frank, because sometimes I need to remind myself that things are okay, that this is normal. This is what happens in crypto, and you have to grin and bear it a lot of times unless you're planning on selling at a loss, like a lot of people that are new to the market, which is one of the reasons why I'm also doing this video. Now, if we look at the price action of Bitcoin, you can see that it could potentially bounce off of this 52.6 support and then continue moving forward. We'll see what happens. But if I look at the overall grand picture, okay, and I see, I basically took the spread of the pi cycle top indicator and I trended them out to basically connect somewhere around up here, which basically puts us on June 4th. I just picked a date in June. It'll probably be somewhere a little further out than that, potentially. I don't know 100% when the market's going to peak, but this is just based off of what a lot of people are saying. And it all seems to make quite a bit of sense if you look at the numbers. Go watch that video. If we did peak out here, we're looking at a $210,000 Bitcoin roughly. Take a percentage of that and throw it into the Cardano market cap at that time, and I think we're going to be sitting just fine. Because when Bitcoin, as I said before, the same with society, when water rises, all ships rise as well, okay? So when Bitcoin pumps, Cardano's also going to rise up. Everything else, even the crappiest of crap coins, are going to rise up as we move closer to the peak of this market. Now, if we look at Ethereum's price, you can see Ethereum's been doing fairly well. This is a daily chart. Most of these are. You can see that we've wicked below this 39.76 and we've bounced back up. But generally when I see that and I see a really long wick like that, it tells me that the price might continue to move further down. In crypto, that's what I see, because this to me is almost like, and I would consider this almost like Asia, basically waking up, freaking out, doing whatever they're going to do, and then a lot of people changing their mind. Or as we get closer into America waking up, and then you see what I'm saying? So it wouldn't shock me at all to see this price drop even further. The same with Cardano, unfortunately, because as we're looking at this, we see a wick to this support line of $1.48. Okay, and this is what I'm seeing. We could drop into the 140s. That doesn't mean anything. It's not a time to freak out. And the reason is look, and I say this to a lot of people, hindsight is always 2020. Okay, so people looking at this, they think, oh my gosh, it's dropping, I need to sell, I'm going to buy in cheaper. But you don't know the date or the time. Just like the second coming of Christ, you don't know the date and time that the tides are going to change. And when they change, it's likely going to happen in Asia while you're sleeping. And you're going to wake up to a significant loss because now you're going to be pushed to buy back in at a much higher price than you sold. You have to know what's coming beforehand. You can't chase candles up or down. Chasing candles means you lose. This is why I accumulate when the prices are low. I accumulate when there's blood in the streets, and I let the cards fall where they may. If I invest based on fundamentals and I invest based off of the quality of the project, not the latest meme shitcoin that's going around on TikTok or Twitter that everybody's buying at a fraction of a penny, because if it just gets to a penny, we'll be billionaires. That shit's not going to happen, folks. I got news for you, because 11 people basically hold the majority of Shiba Inu. And when that thing pumps, those wealthy bastards are going to be dumping all over your heads, and you're going to be sitting around crying about what a crypto scam crypto is. Okay, you've got to start using your freaking heads. You're not going to get rich overnight with this shit. You have to understand what's happening. Okay, now as we move forward into this bull cycle that we are in, this is the trend line. Now, if I were to mark this out in June, this is the end of June, we're looking at $6.50 for Cardano. That's not really taking into account a potential blow off top that I expect to happen once Bitcoin reaches its peak. So while all you guys are out there freaking out, and you think that a lot of these guys that are running all over Twitter, or these coordinated attacks with these fake accounts all over Twitter fudding Cardano, if you think that has anything to do with it, you're wrong. And I'll tell you why. Because if you look at the history, every time we've hit and we've broken below this 28.6, this bottom line here in the RSI, we could still go a little bit further. So don't freak out if it does. But every time we hit this, we get a substantial pump. Okay. Same thing happened here. Went up 171% after this. All right. We go back here. This was a big one. Boom. We almost had I guess you call it a double, triple bottom here on the RSI. And then boom, we blew the hell up, went up 2,700, almost 2,800% to this peak before things started to come back down again. This is what I see playing out here. This was over a period of like 6 or 7 months. Oh, lo and behold, we've got about that long until the potential peak of this next cycle. Stop freaking out. Do you read my lips? Stop freaking out. It's going to be okay. Stop messaging me. Stop going ape shit. Stop freaking out. Okay, have I made that clear? I hope I've made that clear. Well, what else is going to be driving the price of Cardano in the near future? How about this, for example? Sunday Swap, one of the first decentralized trading protocols coming to Cardano. Should be launching here within the next 2 weeks or so, I'm hoping, and I'm definitely planning on getting in on this because I think that this is going to open the new DeFi era on Cardano. What is that going to do? Well, that's going to drive up transactional volume. That's going to drive up a whole new era for the Cardano blockchain. And as I've watched the Cardano 360 recently, and they're talking about the relationship with Sunday Swap and what they're planning to do, on top of the information on the new stablecoin that they're working on, DJED, which I don't know what the hell the point of that name is, but the first stablecoin on Cardano with their Sunday Swap decentralized exchange. This is basically going to enable people to put their native tokens on a decentralized exchange at will, add their own liquidity, and it's basically going to increase the volume of transactions on Cardano en masse. And that's considering the fact that it's already number 2 under Bitcoin right now. Okay, look up those numbers. So when you think about the grand scheme of things and you think, this is what I think that a lot of this is happening right now because people are trying to push the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're cashing out some of their profit on Cardano, putting it in because this all happens in waves and it's like a stepping stone. And now a lot of these people are going to start preparing for Sunday Swap and all the applications that are coming after that, which there are many. You can look those up and I'll be covering them at some point not in this video, but in others. But that is going to be a major catalyst for Cardano into this next bull market. And once this starts to turn around, I just see us going to the freaking moon. And that can start literally at any moment. Period. We've seen this time and time again. This is just how Cardano works. Cardano does its own thing. It is not a follower of the pack. It does what it wants to do. And that is okay with me because Cardano has treated me very, very well. And the only reason I would suspect anyone would have a reason to freak out about the price of Cardano right now is if you believe that the bull market is over, which I don't think it is. I think we have a ways to go yet, which has been proven on multiple levels by multiple people. And everywhere you look on technical analysis, charts, analysts, you name it, a lot of them are saying the same thing. Cardano is ready to start mooning. I believe it will too, even if it does mean dropping just a little bit more before we get fuel in the rocket ship. So stop freaking out, ladies and gentlemen. That's really all I have to say to you. And it's like I love each and every one of you, and I know that the majority of you are just looking at this as an opportunity to accumulate more. Maybe myself included. So I'm not overly concerned about any of this. It's just frustrating. And it's frustrating when you feel like you're being kicked in the teeth when you're down a bit. You take a couple shots, you're getting a little tired, you're getting a little frustrated. You see other blows coming, you're not quite sure how to handle it, but you have to push through. That's what creates champions in this market. It's those that can withstand the punishment, withstand the talk and trash and all of the garbage that's associated with the markets anymore. And you have to stand tall and you have to be ready to fight. And that's really what it boils down to. At least for me, that's the way I look at it. I'm fighting for what I believe in. I believe in Cardano wholeheartedly. And you know what? I've told Charles, I said, stop letting all these trolls get to you. Stop letting them affect what you do and how you think about things. Don't worry about them. Focus on your mission. And he is. I'm sure he just read what I think. Whatever, dumbass. I don't know. But when I see him get visibly frustrated at the trolls and the venture capitalists and all these people trying to break him down, I'd get frustrated too. So I understand. The only thing I basically said to Charles is, listen, you're much bigger than these coordinated attacks on Twitter. You're much bigger than the doubt that's being established by a lot of these people. Because in reality, the number of people that are still staking ADA is still around 72%. Those numbers haven't changed. Those numbers have not dropped. You would think that with the drop of the price that a lot of people would be cashing out, pulling their stakes off of these delegation nodes and dumping them on exchanges. No. They're not, which tells me that the people that have believed in Cardano since 2017 and all through the bear market up to now still do. What's happening is these FUDsters and these attacks and these idiots out there who are trying to spread all this bullshit. They're trying to get the newcomers that don't understand what's going on. They're just jumping into the space because prices are moving, and they're trying to get them to look away from Cardano. And that tells me that the projects that they are in favor of are too weak to support themselves on their own, and they need artificial help to try and push what's good down so that people are taking notice of the shit that they're trying to shovel. And I'm not buying into it. And so, but to each their own. None of this is financial advice. This is a personal opinion. I'm just some fat old guy on the internet. Okay? Don't listen to me. Now, before I conclude this video and let you go about your day and your Thanksgiving weekend, hopefully you don't get too drunk and you're not too fat and you don't have too much to do on Monday, I'm going to go over Kudos, your decentralized computing network, decentralized cloud computing network. I like stuff like this. I like these kind of projects. This is paid disclosures down below. This is a paid kind of commercial, so to speak. I'm a little pumped today. I'm like ready to fight because honestly, I'm so sick of seeing so many morons all over the internet just talking so much trash. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm not worried. I think at the end, just like we have been all through this bear market and already through this bull market, we're showing all these people wrong. And we have been since inception. Nothing's going to change. So anyway, build on Kudos by joining our growing community, earn Kudos, and help you as you help secure our network. This is a pretty interesting little project here. Join the testnet. If you're a developer, if you're somebody that needs a lot of computing power, processing power, likely for maybe artificial intelligence development, maybe you're working something blockchain related or not. You have alternatives. You have some things that you can do. A decentralized, sustainable, and connected world where no computing is wasted. Basically, we've seen stuff like this before. And I haven't heard much about some of those projects over the years. But over $1 trillion is spent on IT hardware annually. I absolutely believe that because I bought like 3 new computers in the past year myself. So I'm going to pull myself out real quick. I'm going to go over some notes as we go through this website, and we will see what happens from there. Where am I? All right. So, solution 10x more cost effective. The Kudos network is a layer 1 network providing scalable distributed computing direct to smart contracts or to any bridged blockchain. Kudos connects blockchain developers and services to a global pool of computing power. This enables up to 10x more cost-effective computing, greener computing, and access to a global network to power your next metaverse. Dynamic NFT, AI, machine learning, DeFi, or any computationally demanding decentralized applications and smart contracts. Kudos network is proprietary layer 1 blockchain and layer 2 proof of stake network built using the Cosmos SDK. Now, that's actually pretty cool because I actually happen to like the Cosmos blockchain. They've done some pretty cool stuff. Parent company Kudo has successfully scaled a distributed supply base of customer hardware to over 60,000 daily active devices in 145 plus countries. They have achieved this with the 2019 release of their first product, Kudo Miner, a management console for hardware owners looking to monetize their hardware assets. I've used Kudo Miner, and it was actually very, very good. So, and I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. So that's actually pretty sweet. Exchanges, KuCoin, Ascendex, Gate.io. Listings, you've got the listings here basically on all the general platforms. Partners, there is some venture capital interest in here, some venture capital investment, which always does kind of bother me a little bit. You never know. It's like a 50-50 shot. Are these good guys or bad guys? I don't know. Based off of Kudo's previous history, though, with Kudo mining, I'm going to give these guys a vote and say, okay, a vote of confidence. Let's hope you guys do well. This is also basically the kind of platform that it can help with a variety of different applications. So depending on what kind of processing needs you have, this could be worth checking out. 2021 quarter 4, ERC20 to Kudo's native token migration begins. Kudo's mainnet version 2 scalable compute, Algorand bridge, Polkadot bridge, V1 Data Oracle, V1 Compute Oracle launched the second Kudos hackathon. That's cool. Let me look through here. Is there a Cardano bridge anywhere? What's happening? I really want to see this in an update, Kudos. Get that Cardano bridge. On-chain staking early Q3, public testnet. All right, cool. Kudo miner, Kudo compute, Kudo. This Kudo miner really was slick. If you're trying to get into Ethereum mining or altcoin mining, that sort of thing, this software really makes it super easy, and you're not dealing with a lot of command prompt crap. Let's see, a couple other notes. Kudo's token is both a medium of exchange and a staking token used to lock value into the network, generating staking rewards for stakers on the network. Live high priority items. Kudos will be the first network supporting NFTs natively on a Cosmos chain. The staking platform is live. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. I've got like 12 pages of notes I'm obviously not going to get through. And I basically just turned myself off there so that you could just focus on what I was reading and showing you instead of looking at my beautiful face, because I know it's addictive. But anyway, check it out, kudos.org if you're interested. I personally do like projects like this because while they don't generally moon like crazy, they tend to be a lot more stable in a lot of cases, and you'll be able to, I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I use stuff like this for ping pong trading in an automated bot because I see the prices basically bounce between a couple variables back and forth quite often. Sia coin is one that I also like. Sia coin is one of those things that you get really, really cheap, in a bear market, and then typically goes up pretty well in a bull market. So anyway, but check out the ecosystem, check out all the information you want on their website, check out the disclosure below for details on this if you're all interested. And until next time, guys, crow your coins and stop freaking out. I think we're okay, unless I'm wrong. Have a good one. See you Monday.